Hey, boy.
All right, let's bring up C. Mr. C,
C.
you ready for
C,
us?
woo, bring us
Yay,
C.
CC!
Yeah, I'm ready.
CC, senor!
On up to the stage, Mr. CC.
Okay, I'm gonna try. If I
Here
step
you go.
on you
He's
on the
coming
way,
up here. He's coming up
just
here.
I apologize.
Whoa.
That's
Unbelievable.
okay. It happens all the time.
Yeah, I wasn't even on the stage one night.
Why wouldn't Hannibal
Right.
Lecter eat a blonde? Apparently, he couldn't find any brains. Okay, no, go ahead.
Oh.
Aye, aye, aye.
Ay.
Hi, everybody. I was worried that I was gonna make it here tonight because I was in a wreck on the way here. I had a wreck at a four-way stop. I was at the four-way stop, and the person across from me got there before me, but when it was their turn to go, instead of going, they kind of made that waving motion to tell me to go, you know? Them versus being nice, yeah. And, I just really wish God would smote those people with a giant ball of fire from the sky, because they're just annoying. They think they're being nice, and they think you're sitting there going, oh, that's so nice, they're going to let me go. And what you're really thinking is, God damn it, motherfucker, get through the intersection.
Yeah.
And,
Yep, you're right.
Absolutely true.
So, it's like a bad drummer in a good band. They're just screwing up the song. So today I decided that I would take an attitude, if you can't beat them, join them. So he waved me on, and I waved my hand, and no, I waved him on, and no, he waved me on. I waved him on. He waved me on again. Then I waved him on. So he started going to the intersection. We got right in the middle. I rammed his ass with my car.
Ooh.
Nice.
My name is Photographer C. My full name is, and when I first got here, that name seemed really cool. I thought, man, that's going to be a great name. I was trying to build my brand. I also had photography under the name Photographer C, and I guess I was here about 3 weeks, and I realized I have a really stupid name. I should have thought And for years, I just carried all this guilt. And then one day, I met Sexy Cum Slut McGee and Lesbo Big Thighs Fairy Meadow. I have some good news. I'm in a relationship now. Well, it's good news for me. And my new girlfriend is awesome, mainly because this one is really a girl.
Are you sure?
Those are
Are you sure?
That first voice conversation can be a real shocker, right, Lauren?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other night we were talking, and she asked me if I picked the last name Bender because I was gay, and I thought, wow, that's really cute. It's like, yeah, sure, I was gay, and I couldn't find any other gay people in SL, so I switched. And then I thought, wait, I was gay, and then I saw you, and instantly I turned into heterosexual. But actually, the reason I like that word is it used to mean you were getting drunk, going on a bender, and I have a pretty intimate knowledge of going on a bender. But she really is a classy lady and very special. I'm constantly reminding myself of how lucky I am and that I don't tip her at the end. She gave me 500 Linden. I'm like, oh, I accidentally clicked the pay thingy. And she's like, 500, you cheap bastard. You think that was only worth So that night I had to sleep with our dog. Yeah, we named our dog. Just seemed really appropriate at the time. I mean, he is a dog, so sort of his name already is Dog. But there's one big problem when we walk him in the park and it's time to go home. People think we're stealing him when we leave because it's like, come here, dog, get in the car. This lady comes up and says, excuse me, is that your dog? And it's like, yes. And she's like, well, what's his name? And it's like, well, his name is Dog. Like, don't be silly. His name is not Dog. It's like, yeah, his name is Dog. And of course, he's sitting there looking at me, looking at her, he's real confused because he doesn't know what's going on. And she says, I'll have you know that his name is not Dog, that's his genus. And I said, look, lady, I've seen him in his own poop. He's no genus. So my girlfriend and I, we rented this little island, like a semi-little island, and we just hang out there, me and Dog. And it's very relaxing, and it makes going back to RL really tough. You know what I mean. RL and SL kind of blend in your head when you play a long time. Like, after a couple of weeks of really playing serious RL, you're in Walmart and you see somebody that looks like an avatar and you're thinking, wow, I wonder if she's on my friends list.
You try to push your camera through there.
Or you need to move something, and instead of walking toward it, you just raise your arm and point, thinking that's gonna
Come here.
and you really know you've been in SL too long when you get really pissed off because you have to get in a car and go somewhere. It's like, why the fuck can't I just teleport?
Yes, exactly.
But things are great between me and her. We're just really having so much of a good time that I finally decided to come out with some of my family members. And that's right, I'm openly Avi in real life. And just with select family members. Mom was the first one that I told, and she had a lot of trouble with it. She's like, now wait a minute, how can I deal with this knowing that my son would prefer to not be real? And she had a lot of trouble with it. She had a million questions, and I could only answer about 3. And I finally said, look, Mom, do you want to see a picture of my girlfriend? And she said, well, isn't she like a cartoon? I mean, I heard this place was all cartoons. I mean, so I showed her a picture of my girlfriend, and she goes, oh, she's gorgeous. My daughter was a little bit more cynical. She's like, when I showed her a picture of us, she said, well, I know what you're compensating for, but the question is, what is she compensating for? So she's a super bright spot in my life. But things have been going really great, and we've gotten pretty serious. We're sort of planning our lives together, and everything's been really smooth, but we did have one big fight. And I mean, this was a big fight, and the subject, of course, was prim babies. And it turns out she wanted a cylinder and I wanted a cone. And,
I love it.
I mean, who would want a cone head for a kid? Actually, neither of us want prim babies. And I'm pretty sure, I'm sure they serve a purpose because I met somebody one time that had 5 of them. 5 prim babies, and she wanted more. And my first encounter with a prim baby was in a strip club in SL. I was sitting there trying to decide to tip 20 or 50, and I hear something say, my future mommy has been on her feet too long and her ankles are swelling. And I'm like, what the fuck? Baby's talking in the womb? That's a terrible idea. My luck, I'd decide to have one, and we'd be someplace that was really crowded, and our embryo would say, my real daddy is a musician that played Mary Prankster a few weeks ago after Mommy did Jägermeister shot. But we've moved into the island together, but she's keeping her own place, and she has one of the most interesting anomalies of Second Life in her house. Her place is one of those sort of prefab things with everything built in, but she has a kitchen in her place. A kitchen, the whole thing, a refrigerator, a stove, a dishwasher. And it's like crazy. I wanted to see what they did, so I clicked one, and the menu came up, and it didn't say, like, eat, drink, or wash dishes. It said solo cuddles or hot sex. And I'm thinking, okay, I've never eaten anything on that kitchen table. And then she, upstairs at her place, she has one of SL's greatest mysteries. She has a toilet. I'm like,
Yeah.
I love them.
What in the world does a hollow body need a toilet for? You've already evacuated everything you could possibly evacuate. You have teeth and eyes in there.
Need a place to read our note cards. That's why. People have been asking me this for years. For God's sake.
Okay, you log into Second Life, and you're glued to your computer so your Avi can burn a few calories. It makes no sense. But it turns out that everything, everything in my girlfriend's house has animations, but she even has an Intan in there, which is super nice. I don't know if you know what an Intan is, but it's those dance balls you click on and the balls appear, and you hop on and you do the chicken dance till your partner gets on. And you have to be careful with those because I've been at some clubs with someone that I just met, and 1 minute you're doing the tango, and the next minute you're doing the horizontal mambo. Yeah. The next thing you know, you're holding the back of her head, and you know exactly what she thinks at that moment. She thinks you had it planned all along, and that makes you a rapist. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't think there's anything funny at all about rape. I don't think there's anything funny at all about it, and it's something that's very serious in real life. But there's this line between RL and SL where things get blurred. Can you actually assault someone when your Johnson is covered in dust in your inventory? How much danger are you? How much danger are you in when you're Control H away from being in your safe place? So that got me thinking. It's like, what if Second Life kept track of sex offenders? Can you imagine how big the sex offender database would be? My God, it would lag the entire metaverse. It'd be like an episode of Oprah. You're getting on the list, and you're getting on the list, and you're getting on the list. So now I check those intents very carefully. Anyway, that's my set. Thank you, guys.
Oh, bravo! Wow, see, we do have a comedian here from time to time. Yeah.